So I moved from sunny California to historic Virginia 1 year ago today. And we're gonna kind of talk about what I've been up to this whole past year, but also why did I do it in the first place? Because everybody's like, that's crazy, what's going on? And so we're gonna talk to a couple of things, the job, give you a little update on that, theme park stuff. Why do I do my YouTube channel? What's the purpose that I'm really kind of going for? But then also we're gonna be talking through a little bit of spiritual stuff, and then ultimately, why did I move back home? And so sit tight, use the chapter things. If you're one of those people that you're like, look, I don't wanna hear our babble, I just wanna hear about this, and then, okay, touche, no problem. I'll include the chapters, because it is kind of annoying when you're looking at somebody else's vlog and you're like, look, just tell me where the good stuff is. Where do you hinted about what's going on in life? So why am I doing this YouTube channel? What's going on with this? And honestly, I've had this YouTube channel since like 2012. I love collecting memories. It's like crazy person, collect all the memories. No, first of all, this is kind of morbid. But as I've gone through life, I've had people that I really care about pass away. And one of the hardest things for me is it's like I can relive the memories in my head, but to be able to hear that person's voice, to see their mannerisms, to see them laughing and just alive, like I would have given anything for that. And so with these YouTube videos, I've been trying to have a lot of friends that I've known from my past like years of life come out. We do a couple of vlogs together to kind of capture that, so that if I pass away or they pass away, oh man, this is so morbid, guys. I'm sorry, but like if something ever bad happens, I will be able to have that, because I love memories and it's incredible and awesome. But nobody realizes what a gift it is to film and to capture memories until somebody's gone. And that quote, what is it? Oh my gosh, Andy.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
And like, that is such a great quote, because it's so true. And so I'm trying to capture those good memories, those good moments, so that later on we can look back and have a good time. Something happened to me, you can be like, well, I still can go to a theme park with 3D and see my weirdness and my quirks and whatnot. But that's like one of the things I want to capture, those memories, because I care about it a lot. Another reason why I spent my whole adult life pretty much taking care of other people. I used to do youth ministry in some various ways for the past 20 years, and I have a passion for it, and I love it. If you're one of my old students, I care about you so much and I miss you. But the hard thing is I spent so much time on everybody else that I never really took time for myself. And so one of the ways that I'm showing myself that I'm doing that is taking 15 to 20 hours a week to edit videos. And what do I love? I love theme parks. What do I love? I love people. What do I love video editing. I love trying to get better at graphic design. I know it's Canva, but hey, look, Adobe people are like, it's not graphic design. And I'm like, well, look, it make it accessible and easy for me to be able to help tell a story, and that's a win in itself. And so, like, being able to capture all those things together, I have one video per week for the past 9 months. And that shows me tangibly, wow, you've actually been working on yourself. You've been taking time to really focus on what you love on and what you care about. And I still want to get back into serving, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in this vlog. But that's kind of like, that's a big part of it, Another reason is I want to make enough money to cover my passion. My first thought with Lori was addiction. It's not an addiction, I have a problem. Okay. But no, but my passion for theme parks, I would love to get enough in like a little tier system, kind of going through. So if I was able to get like one theme park season pass paid for per month, that would be awesome. If I was able to get all my season passes, paid for, that would be sick. Maybe with all that, and then gas, and then, hotel, something later on. But I'm really starting out small. I'm like, hey, if I can make enough, get to 1,000 subscribers, get my watch hours up to 4,000, do all this other stuff, then maybe this hobby can actually be self-funded as it goes through. And and I've always thought about doing a YouTube channel. I've actually had this channel since like 2015 or 2012. If you look back, it's a lot of old videos that I used to have. And so just videos from, just memories, because I used to just capture a lot of memories. And I'm gonna probably eventually take some of those down, but for the most part, they'll probably just be there. But to be able to make enough to self-fund that'd be incredible. That'd be awesome. Another thing I love to do is be able to just hone in on my craft. I want to get better at editing. I want to get better at graphic stuff. I love it. And so therefore I want to get better. And what better way to actually get better at something than just do a video once per week and try to improve while you're doing it. Also, I want to help other people. Another thing is I want to help people gain the confidence to travel and to go to new places. Because a lot of times we just don't realize what's out there. I would love eventually to get to a point where somebody's walking around Virginia Beach and they're thinking like, I don't know what to do. Let's look at Demetri's adventure and see what things are out in my local area. Or they're somewhere within this 6 hours on the East Coast and like, what can we do? I think this would be kind of fun. Or they watch a video and they're like, hey, honey, or hey, you know, so-and-so, let's gather some friends. Let's go over here and let's check this thing out. I think it'd be really fun. Like, I would love to get to a point where I have that. Now, it's gonna take me a while to get that many videos out there. Some of my people that, man, I love looking at In the Loop, man. If my channel could get to a point like In the Loop per se, I love In the Loop, I love Coaster Studios, and Super Loopers, I think that's the name. He's been killing. He's been doing some really good content. Like, I'm thoroughly impressed. He's just starting out. He's really talented. And so those are some of the people, and Mid-Course Discourse, like that's also another channel. So check those channels out if you ever get a chance to. But they are just, their editing styles are so good and so awesome. And I'm still kind of be my quirky self. But I want to get to a point where I can get better and almost look more like what they have as they're going through. But they help gain the confidence for other people to be able to kind of travel these places, to know things. So for my job, I work at a college where I help seniors be able to transition to their freshman year of college, but also kind of like a recruiting, but also authentically being like, hey, we just want to help you get to your next step, which is I work with amazing, talented people. Like, they're so much fun. They're so awesome. I'm just enjoying them. I laugh so much with them. And they're just great hard workers, and so I work with a great team, and I've been absolutely loving it all the way through, and that's been really cool because I miss doing ministry in so many different ways, and I guess we'll just jump onto that. I miss doing ministry. I used to work with students I was a youth pastor, youth minister. Gosh, I used to do missions trip stuff, like a variety of a youth volunteer, intern, like for a lot of my life. So this is the first time since I was like 16 that I haven't been serving at a church, which is insane. So long, like that's a long time in my life, and it's been incredible because I didn't realize how much I needed this break to stop. And I feel like God took away a lot of things, you know, like one of my favorite families, they moved over to stinking Washington. Like, what's a pain in the butt. There's like two families that I like hung out with the most out there, and one of them popped over there, and I was like, darn it, you know. And then my position at my job, just due to some reasons, not bad, but like it just couldn't keep my position there, and so that like left, and then some of my friends left, and I was like, okay, God, what is going on? And that eventually led me to come back home. That was not the main reason why I came back home, because I could have just stayed out in California and found a job there, but it's interesting to see to take that whole year off. It has been intense. I miss my old students. I miss doing youth ministry, but it's been good because I didn't realize the importance of a sabbatical. If you're wondering what a sabbatical is, it's basically a time for pastors to get refreshed, to get renewed, to connect with God, but also take a break and get ready for the next season of their life, or next season of 5, like some people do 5 years, we have a couple months off, or you do 10 years, you have a bit off. And what that does is it kind of gets you ready, because there's a weight that comes from ministry. There's a huge weight that goes on you because you want to make sure you take care of parents, but also the students. And then, you know, you're thinking about all the events that are coming up. There's so much, it's such an intricate thing, and it takes over a lot of your life that you need to take a rest. You need to take a break. And I didn't, like, I'm the kind of person, I'm like, go, 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 you know. And I feel like God brought me to so many different places in California that I went from, I was everywhere, that I was never long enough to, I was never at a place long enough to be able to gain a sabbatical. And so what I recognize now as I look back, I'm like, man, there were fractures in my foundation, or like cracks in my foundation, and the weight of ministry, the weight of all the stuff that's going on was just so much. And the only way to fix a lot of that foundational stuff is to take off that weight, put it off to the side, and actually repair your stuff. So I feel like for this past year, I've really been working on, okay, what's some of the foundational stuff that, you know, I've been, you know, like some things going through. Like, I always go to like therapy every 3 years to kind of work on whatever I need to work on. And I just feel like going back home has been transformational, has been good. Taking a year off of ministry, has been so good. I'm not worried about little Timmy. I mean, it's not Timmy, but I still worry about people that I care about, but it's not like, it's not in my face all the time. And another part of it that's kind of interesting is I had to kind of think through and be like, whoa, what do I do in regard to, like, do I love Jesus or do I just work at a church? Do I love Jesus or do I work at a church? Ooh, like, what does that look like? And I always know I still loved God and I love Jesus and love church, but sometimes when you're paid by the church or you're paid, like, you kind of have this, like, do I? I'm pretty sure I do. And being back here, I'm like, oh no, I still go to church and I still love God, still doing my devotional, doing like everything else. And so that's been really cool and really amazing. And so I have a great church that I attend. It's called Real Life. They're amazing and awesome. It actually feels like Bayside Folsom, if you're in the California area. Tight-knit family of good people that help each other out. They're a type of church that goes out to community and helps people, and loving that. That's been so cool. But yeah, that's kind of, the job merged into spiritual wise. I still love God. I haven't left everything. But it's been cool repairing a lot of those issues and challenges that I just usually I'm like, I don't know if I have time for this. I'll hone in on this for a little bit, but I gotta get back to this event and do that. But yeah, if you're out in California, I miss you guys. But I will be back for one of my friend's wedding, so that should be pretty fun, and hanging out. So that'll be soon. And I want to go to Discovery Kingdom. There's so many things within that. So now I'm fully furnished. Man, I've been just living on little white, yellow and black box. The ones at Home Depot where you just like, they stack on each other. For my TV stand over there, I just literally put 4 together and put my TV on there, put a little black sheet over, and I was like, oh, yeah, there it is. For my bed, my roommate was like, hey, I'm gonna give you I'll let you just use this, like this little twin mattress thing, or this small, this full mattress, just I use for a guest for a little bit, and I just, for the box spring or whatever it is, I just put crates on and then put it on there. And, but now it's finally fully furnished. Like, I had a friend that was like, hey, look, we have an extra bed and stuff. If you would love to, like, we'd love to give it to you. I had one family, shout out to them. They were like, hey, we'll hook you up with something and bless you. So I got a TV stand. I was like, oh, thank you. Brought a desk. I have a desk to do editing, and then I also have some other things I was able to get. It's been a journey, man. It's been such a journey, but it's been really remarkable and awesome. And so finding a great place. One of my roommates just moved out, but we're looking for another roommate. I don't know if you're interested. I don't know if I want to open up that much. We can talk. So that's been super chill. So yeah, and then second to last, health. My health has been interesting because I feel like it's true. When you get to a certain age, it feels like everything just starts falling apart. So let's talk about the biggest one, my back. So my back has been giving me big problems. Maybe I haven't pictured enough time to put for the x-ray, but basically, you're supposed to have like this much between each one of your vertebrae or whatever that thing is called. My cushion is like non-existent. You can't see it's like non-existent. It's really small on one of my vertebrae. And so what happens is when I don't have that disc, the disc is really small. And because that disc is really small, there's a lot of, the way somebody's explained, there's a lot of friction, but then that also creates new growth on what is it called? On like new calcium deposit. I don't know. I don't know all this stuff. All I know is that my spinal cord's like this, and then when it gets inflamed, it pinches, and it's pretty painful. So I can go to theme parks for like 4 hours and be okay, but man, at that 4th hour after riding like 5 rides, I'm like, okay, and it takes me a while to get out of the car, and then if I rest for like 3 more hours and I go back, then I'm fine again. And so that's been hard, just navigating through that, because I love theme parks. Some people are like, why are you doing theme parks if you're still doing this? If you're having this problem, I'm like, look, I talked to the doctor and they said, hey, you're fine, you can do theme parks, just be mindful. And so I love it, and it's just something I've always had a passion for, and I'm finally pursuing my dream of doing a YouTube channel for theme parks and just capturing this stuff. And now my back is hurting. It seemed cool for a while, and so with my back, I've been navigating through it. I just had eye surgery to fix my eye issues, so my back has kind of it's been put on the back burner. Right. But it's been put on the back burner, you know, because I'm just like, well, I can't do it all, you know? And so I'm gonna start going to physical therapy, and if physical therapy doesn't go out well, then I will have to do shots, but I feel like shots never work for anything else, and then it'll be surgery. So physical therapy, we'll see, but it's expensive to go to physical therapy. Really expensive. So like $150 per session, like expensive. So I'm kind of trying to navigate that, and I'm working on it. But I had my eye surgery. It's I'll just show you a picture of what it looks like. It's not actually my eyeball. So yeah, so that's health. And then last but not least, so why did I move back home? This is already getting pretty long. Thank you guys for those that actually stood in. If you've got to this point, I don't know, comment something down below, just for a little encouragement that some people actually watch some longer stuff that's going on. Nonetheless, so why did I move back home? Honestly, it was an experience. I was coming home from Lake Tahoe after seeing some friends, and I remember hanging out with my friends and being like, this kind of feels like a farewell tour. As I'm like hanging out I started seeing some people that I hadn't seen in California in such a long time, and I was like, this is interesting. So I hang out with my friend Tim, and then I'm driving home, and I was just getting annoyed because I was like, I hadn't found the job yet. Everything was just going crazy. And I was like, Lord, what the heck do you want from me? Because I feel like nothing's going right. I'm not going to listen to music on the way back home. I'm just going to be silent. I'm going to talk to you. We're going to figure this out. My first question, anytime I'm wondering where God's direction is, like, what did he tell me last? When was the last time that I've heard from him or he showed me something? And so I was like, I don't know, looking back. And for the past year and a half, like 2 years, it's been a tugging pull for me to be back home and to be with my family. And I was like, well, when is the time for that? Like, I still love the church that I have. I still love what I do and everything else. Like, what does this all look like in regard to it? Like, I just don't know the time. Like, Lord, I don't mind going back home to be with my family and everything else, but I just don't know the timing. And I want it to be good timing, you know? And, but that's also the funny part because, you know, the family that I was really close with, they moved up to Washington. Some of my other friends moved away. The position at my job, you know, was dissolved. And so I was like, okay, well, this seems like God's telling me the time is now for me to leave. And this is like a month before I actually left. So it was a pretty quick turnaround for it. And as I was driving back home and I was thinking through it, and I got this peace. I was like, oh Lord, okay. It's time. It's time for me to move back home. And it's hard. It's like, I'm getting a little emotional right now. Because I spent my whole adult life out there, and there's people that I'm missing out on seeing their part of life, you know, that I enjoyed watching. I tell people, for me, being able to be a part of someone else's story is like watching a show. There's challenging parts of their life. There's amazing parts, and to be able to be there when they're celebrating, to be able to be there when they're in their lows, and to just, I don't know, like you create bonds. And I miss those. And to see Instagram is always hard because for Instagram I blocked some people for a while because it was just too hard to see them move on with their life, to not be able to go back over there. And so that was a hard transition. But that's also why I was like, if I'm gonna leave here, I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna have some theme parks. I need people around me that, you know, like are gonna be really encouraging. But I moved back home to be with my family. You know, your perspective as a young person of your family is interesting. And I think there's parts that you see that are true, and there's parts that you see that are not true. And I think when you're older, you gain a perspective and you're like, oh, like that's crazy. And that perspective change has been instrumental in me getting healing from so many things that I just didn't realize, you know? And now as I've been talking to my friends, I'm like, if I didn't move back home, I wouldn't have gotten over this or that or this or that. Like this past year has just been instrumental, and I'm seeing growth in areas that I've never seen before. Almost to a point where I was like, why didn't I just move back home earlier? But the timing is everything, you know? But yeah, so moving back home is just really to be with my family, to navigate through that. I'm not the perfect son. I'm realizing like there's so many moments where I'm like, man, I have failed in so many different areas, but we're all not perfect, you know? We're all not perfect at all. If I can encourage you guys, if you have family stuff, deal with it. Don't run away from it. Because if you don't deal with it, man, sometimes you can't pass go until you deal with the stuff that happened, you know, across the Monopoly analogy. You can't pass go until you deal with the stuff that happened beforehand, you know? And you have to focus in on that and help it grow. I'm not saying like unhealthy focus, but navigate those things because it's been transformational. So that's pretty much it. It's already long right now. And but again, if you haven't liked or subscribed or anything else, please do. I have an Instagram channel. That's just more if you want more like, what is he actually doing today? Because I'm so backlogged on videos. I actually have enough videos to last me to December, I believe. I'm at that point, which is cool. And everybody tells me like, you're always adventuring places. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not adventuring anywhere. And then I'm like looking at all these vlogs. I'm like, okay, well, I actually do go to a lot of places nonstop. But again, even if you were like, hey, there's a playlist, a theme park one, I'm just gonna put it on in the background while I'm just doing other stuff and not even watch it. If you want to fall asleep to it, I mean, hey, you do you. like to help get those hours up to that 4,000. I'm not trying to rig the system, I guess. I am trying to rig the system. I don't know, whatever it is. But thank you guys for joining in. You guys are incredible and awesome. I hope to do this channel for the next 3 years at least. 1 year mark is the huge one. That will be in like November. And then I want to do it 2 more years. I think I can probably reach my time or my 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers probably in 2 years. And so, but the grind is the grind. You just have to keep on going. But it's fun and amazing. But I'll talk to you guys later.